So I recently decided that I was going to start making gold on another realm, and I have no characters on that realm, so I decided that I was going to use some of my Battle.net balance that I'd saved up to transfer my best farming character over to that realm. But this does mean that I am lacking for professions beyond the ones that are on that character. And as a result, I started to look at how I could make a substantial amount of money just with skinning. So this video is all about the first location that I tried out, and boy was it a good one. So I'm going to share that with you today, and all you need in order to make this work for you is just a character with Cataclysm skinning. It doesn't even need to be leveled, as you are going to be able to level it doing the farm itself. So really all you need is a character that's capable of one-shotting a few very low level mobs, and that is pretty much any character in the game. So this farm is just skinning, however, the end result is going to give you more than just leathers. So I'm going to pop everything up on the screen for you here that you're going to end up with from this farm, and as you can see there is a whole smorgasbord of items that you are going to end up with from this farm. Now, obviously you're going to end up with a lot of leathers, that was a given, but you're also going to end up with ores and cloths and all of the volatiles that are unique to this expansion as well, and in pretty good substantial amounts, and that is where the majority of your money is going to come from. Now, this farm is a bit of a double-edged sword, however. It's fantastic as a steady gold farm, but there isn't too many rare high-value items that you're going to get, but with how much money you're going to make steadily, you're not really going to care. The only item on here that has a high value, that is a rarer drop as it were, is the pristine hide. Now, these are rare, but not that rare. So you can consider yourself unlucky if you don't get one if you do this farm for a little while. But with how much gold you're going to make from the extra stuff, it's not going to be the end of the world if you come here and have an unlucky time. Now, the farm itself takes place just on the banks of the rivers at the south of southern Uldum. I'm going to show it on the map for you here. And all you're going to be doing is running over these pink egg piles, which will spawn these little crocolisks on you. Now, when these crocolisks spawn on you, you want to use an AoE ability to kill them, but you want to not move. If you move, they will fall off and become unskinnable. But if you don't move and you AoE them down, you are able to loot them and then also skin them. So the fact that we are looting these does mean that you are able to get some green items and of course any other world drops that could occur in the Cataclysm areas. These are going to be rare and not something I factor in, as even though a lot of things can drop, there isn't that much of great value. Obviously you could get lucky, but it's not worth factoring into the end gold amounts that you're going to be making, at least not in my opinion. Now, I can't stress this enough, when the crocolisks are on you, if you move even a tiny bit, these crocolisks fall off of you and they become unskinnable. So you do want to make sure the moment that you hear the little noise saying that they've spawned onto you, and you get the message that says jump to shake off the young crocolisks, you don't want to do that. You just want to AoE, loot and skin the mobs that are still attached to you. If you find that you are moving slowly when you move on to the next pack, that means that somewhere hidden on your body there is still a crocolisk, and if you don't kill it and get it off of your body by either skinning it or moving, when you run over the next egg pile it will not spawn any crocolisks. Now, whilst I did say at the start of this video that all you really need is a character with skinning, if you really do want to optimise this farm, there are certainly things you can do. The most notable being the use of a potion of treasure finding. Now what this does is it allows whenever you kill any Cataclysm mob and loot it, it has a chance to give you a tiny treasure chest. Now, the tiny treasure chests, when you open them, will always give you a small amount of gold, between about 1 to 5 gold, and it can give you pretty much any crafting mat from Cataclysm. It gives Elementium ore, Pyrite ores, Ember Silk cloth, and all of the volatiles. So a lot of the value of this farm is going to come from using that potion. If you are an alchemist or have an alchemist, you can make the potion for yourself, but if not, they tend not to be too expensive. I'd actually bought one on my realm for about 700 gold to do this farm, and I made that back in about 4 or 5 treasure chests, so it is definitely worth picking up, especially if you're going to be doing the farm for a long time. The second sort of chest that you're going to get from this, although it's not really a chest, it's actually a stomach, and that is something that you get when you are skinning any mob in Cataclysm areas. You have a chance to get these stomachs that when you open them can contain volatiles. Now, there isn't anything you have to do in order to activate this, but With it being just a white item, a lot of people just don't realise or know about. I thought it was worth a mention. When you open it, there is no gold, there is simply a volatile, but either one or two of one type of volatile. So for example, you open up one, you get 2 volatile earth, you open up the next one, you get 2 volatile fire, you open up the next one, you get 1 volatile air. Completely random, 1 to 2 of any of the volatiles. Obviously again, this does mean that there is something of a luck factor involved, but it's very minimal. And even if you got the worst volatiles, they're still going to sell for decent money, and you're going to get so many of these stomachs that it's going to average out in the end. Now, if you have watched my Deathwing's Gift to Gold Farmers video and you are curious as to how this location stacks up comparative to the mobs shown in the Bastion of Twilight for using the Potion of Treasure Finding, I do find that you get fractionally more of the treasure chests doing the Bastion of Twilight farm. However, of course, you are missing out on a lot of the other gold opportunities from this farm, be it the leathers and the pristine hides, things of that nature. And as a result, this is the farm that I do by choice over that one. There is obviously advantages to both, but personally I much prefer the steady gold of this farm. It wouldn't be the case in a lot of other expansions, but given that there aren't that many big ticket items to get from Cataclysm content, I find the steady farms when it comes to Cataclysm content are the way to go. If you do fancy going and doing Bastion of Twilight, by all means do, it's still a fantastic farm. And of course there are advantages either way. If you prefer the high chest count, go to Bastion of Twilight. If you prefer the steady gold of the leathers, then obviously stay here. But there's no reason why you can't mix it up. Obviously if you were going to do one or the other, it can get quite tedious, so mixing it up can definitely be an extra value to you, even in a gold sense. Because if you get bored doing a farm, you're not going to stick to it, you're not going to put in the time that's required to get the high quantity of items to get the big amounts of gold that you're looking for. Now, if you aren't going to put in the time, then this might not be the farm for you simply because of the fact that it uses the Potion of Treasure Finding. So I do think it's very much better if you can do a 1 hour stint of this farm. If you can't, but can afford to log out of your character between the farm sessions, then that Potion of Treasure Finding does not tick down its timer while you are offline. So you can do, say, 20 minutes, get bored, log off the character, go on to another character and play something else, go out, do what you want, come back the next time you're feeling refreshed and want to go at the farm again, and just carry on from where you were. Now, that is definitely recommended because these potions, while they are cheap in absolute terms, it does vary in terms of availability, and on some realms I have seen them going for thousands of gold, so you do really want to make the most out of it. There's no reason not to use the full potion, so if you can, do log out if you aren't going to use your full potion, and then just come back at a later date. One last thing I want to mention before we go, guys, is that if you are going to go and attempt this farm, now that the patch has come that has changed all of the portal systems, this is still one of the very easiest farms to get to. Now, all you have to do if you're using a high level character, the simplest way I find is to get yourself to Orgrimmar, which I like to do by using my Dalaran Hearthstone and just going around the corner to the Orgrimmar portal. And the Cataclysm portals and the Cataclysm zones are untouched by the patch, so they are still at the back of Orgrimmar up on the plateau, and you just simply take the portal to Uldum and fly south. It is as easy as that. But that's going to do it for this video, guys. I do hope that you enjoyed it. If you did, please do consider liking the video or commenting down below to ask me any questions. If you want to stay up to date with the rest of this series, because I do plan on doing some more skinning videos as well as other gold making videos, do consider subscribing to the channel. But until then, guys, see you in the next one. Bye.